So we got our table ready, and yeah, I think I'm going to add a little bit of sort of a glass material to add at the top of it, because right now it's just hollow. Okay, so what I'm going to do is go back to this view, and let's Shift and A to add another mesh. Do remember, you need to be in object mode rather than edit mode. You don't want to stick things together. Okay, so yeah, let's try to do that. So Shift and A, go to mesh, and go to cube, and what I'm going to do is to scale it x-axis, get it fairly, yeah, just approximately this big, and then of course you're going to scale it z-axis and make it pretty thin, something like that. Okay, and then you can move it up, so going to move it, grab it, z-axis, move it up, so maybe just something about here. I think I need to make it thinner. Okay, so scale that, something like that. Okay, then grab it, z-axis. When you're holding a shift, you can move it slowly. Okay, so this is pretty good for you fine-tuning that. And you look at from the top, it's definitely too yeah, too small for that. So maybe I'm going to add in some part of supporting material down, or you can just use the glass, because yeah, the difference between art and real life is that in that matter, the difference between the digital world, the metaverse, and the real world is that you don't necessarily need to obey all the physics. Okay, so you can just create things out of your imagination without any, yeah, following the rule of physical world, and still this thing won't fall. Okay, so yeah. So in real life, I might just get this, scale it down at the y-axis, and make it sort of a support pole, and Command D to duplicate it multiple times to support it. But right now, I think just yeah, we don't need that, because this is not physical world. It's just a sort of a modeling 3D environment. Okay, so what I'm going to do is scale it up and y-axis. Then what I'm going to do is to scale it so I can approximately cover the whole area. Okay, and this time you don't need to worry too much about the overlapping, because you know, yeah, you won't be able to see if there is overlapping. Okay, so I think that looks pretty good. Okay, so we got the table here, and I think that's just great. And remember, we got this shadowy area. That's because I duplicated it. Okay, so what I'm going to do is to just X and delete it, so you won't be able to see it. We got pretty nice table, but this time I'm going to adding a little bit introduction of material. So what I'm going to do is to add this material and make it sort of transparent or semi-transparent. So this table will look pretty interesting, because under that we got two amplifier. I think maybe I'm going to make it sort of aquarium, like the table. Under the table we got a sort of a water, and we can make fish inside, something like that. And I think maybe I'm going to make this fish tank above it, so I can see that when I actually work. So I'm working, and I can see all wall of fish at the back. Okay, so and under that we got the functionality. We got this amplifier. Yeah, so let's just change that to glass. So what I'm going to do is to change the material of the table as well as this glass. So what I'm going to do is to first select the table. Okay, and I'm not sure what I'm going to make, because it's all recorded live, so I just play around. Okay, so just bear with me. We click that, we got this material properties, and right now it's the material like this. So I'm going to say this will be our table material. Okay, and let's just go to material preview. That is definitely not good. So you got a preview here. Okay, and right now this definitely not good, because this is sort of like an ivory marble stone sort of a kind of material. And let's go back. Okay, let me give you more space so I can play around with. We got service and we got a lot of things to modify. So we got this. Let me give more space so you can see that. Okay, so I think I'm going to make this roughness down. Roughness clearly. If you drag that and it's too high, it'll be some like a clay material. So I'm going to make it pretty glossy, and let's look at the this part. Okay, it's definitely much glossy. Oh, we got the lighting here. Let me just make a sun. Or maybe spotlight. Okay, I think point light is good. And let me grab it up a little bit. And yeah, I think maybe I'm going to use the HDRI for that. I already discussed that in other tutorial. So essentially, just add word property and add a node. I'm going to quickly add that color to a image texture. Yeah, so you can just import that image, and yeah, then you can open that. Oh, sorry about that. It's not image texture. It's it's environment texture. Sorry about that. And then I'm going to open a new picture that I download at HDR, so I can get this environment lighting. So I can get a raw feeling of what is going on. Okay, so we can just delete this light because we don't need the light source right now, and we can go back to this glossy cube. And I think the white is not so good, even though it's glossy. Okay, it is glossy, but you do not get a high-end feeling. So what I'm going to do is to change that to maybe change the color a little bit. So we got the base color. This is just a node. If you want to add more nodes, you can do that. But for now, let's just quickly choose a base color. You get a sort of a grayish. I think this looks pretty good, and you can change that to say dark red, green. I think this looks pretty good. So we got this, and make it a little bit darker. So we get this glossy surface. Yeah, pretty glossy. And maybe a metallic. We change that a little bit to get a sort of a metal feeling. Yeah, it looks pretty good, pretty polished. Of course, you can just drag that to go like pretty even, like the liquid feeling metallic. Okay, roughness, you can just drag it down to 0, so it's nearly like water. Yeah, I think that's pretty good. And as for the glass, of course, you can create a new material, something like that. You can go to this material properties, you can create a new, and you can change the transparency. Yeah, you can adjust that. But there is sort of a quick way of doing that, because we got a lot of things to do, because Blender already got this glass material, so you can just borrow their material. So there is a mesh called Arch Mesh, and I think it's a plugin that do not automatically activate it. So I'm going to say Arch Mesh and add mesh. Okay, so then you will automatically switch it on. So when you go back to here, so you can see more clearly, Shift and A, you can add mesh, and we get Arch Mesh here. and we can just borrow the say the window. Okay, so we already got this window here, and you can grab it up so you can see you got a pretty nice looking window. And when you check the material here, you will be able to see this glass, a marble sort of a material. So I'm going to just choose glass, so it will just automatically give all this setting right without you actually do anything. And of course you can got a window group and you can just delete that by pressing X. Okay, so this is just a quick way to do it. It's like a hack. And yeah, we got pretty glossy table and it looks pretty good. Okay, this looks pretty good. Yeah. Remember, if you see a little bit sort of weird thing, if you go here and you can see that you see through to the bottom of the ground of the floor, but you can't see the back of the stand. That is because you're using a different engine to render that. It's an EV engine. I'm going to use the Cyclone engine, so it's a much more better result, and I think that looks pretty good. Okay, so yeah, I'm pretty satisfied with this table. And yeah, I think I'm going to customize this table's glass, because right now it's too transparent. Okay, so what I'm going to do is to maybe click here. This is definitely transparent. So what I'm going to do is to add a little bit of color, so it won't get too transparent, because this is not a good looking table if it's too transparent. Okay, so let's go to this shader editor. You know, the reason that I use is a default plugin is that this shader, if you look at it, this is what is going on under the hood. It's a little bit complex. Yeah, it's not impossible for you to do that, but I think it's better just to use that, because you don't invent the wheel, you just use it. And let's change the base color to and then maybe this color like this. Maybe add a little bit darkness to it, so you get a sort of a high-end feeling to it. Yeah, this is like this sunglasses color. Yeah, I'm pretty satisfied with it. So yeah, that will be our table. Pretty glossy, reflective table. And of course, you can just click, and sorry, you just right click to close this area altogether. Close this area. And yeah, we got our table.